organizes free trainings for bike repairers and they even use Unilag Design Studio. Design Studio should be the one close to the system engineering department.
Thank you very much and welcome to the Electric Mobility Spotlight at the Powerelec 2026, Powerelec Nigeria 2026. So just so I'm sure that we're in the right place. How many of us have seen an EV vehicle before? How many of us, just by show of hand, you've ever seen an electric vehicle? Please raise it high if you really mean it. Let me see. Okay. How many of us have entered an EV vehicle?
You better.
I would like someone to help with the mic, please. I'd like to know which one, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, which one did you enter?
Tesla.
I've been in Lagos for the past 2 days and I've been using EV vehicle. I've made sure that I don't enter any other vehicle apart from EV. So I'd like to know which one did you enter.
Hybrid.
Let's see the people that have entered EV vehicles. Can someone here?
Extremely quiet.
Okay, so
three-wheeler, the car, and a jeep.
you entered two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and the four-wheelers. Okay, you've completed the cycle. So, and e-bus too. Okay. Who else has entered an e-vehicle? There's the hand here. Please help me with the mic.
Yeah, entered in the four-wheel drive of the EV vehicles. It's carrying the one with the land drive.
With land drive. Okay. All right, thank you very much. I see some Unilag. I don't know if there's anyone that came from Unilag. Entered one bus in Unilag that is EV. So thank you very much for those of us that have experienced it. But I would just like to ask, is it possible to have a Lagos road without noise? Do you think it's possible to have a Lagos road without the noise of the buses? Is it possible?
We are putting down one payment.
2080. You shall not because can you imagine the Lagos road without Obalande? We used to be Lagos.
No.
We used to be Lagos. Those are the talks that we're going to have in the room. Have come a long way. Thank you very much for joining us, and on this note I welcome you distinguished guests to the E-Mobility Spotlight of Powerelec Nigeria 2026. I know in the room we have innovators, we have partners, we have exhibitors who have come to listen to what we have to say today. Just so you know, I have 3 things to say to you this morning before we start. Electric mobility is not something that you hear far off. It has come to stay. Today is about moving from curiosity to clarity. Some people just enter this room to say, what is it about electric mobility? If you're one of those that just entered to just hear, what is it about? Let me see your hand. Out of curiosity, just say, let me just sit and just listen. Thank you very much. I hope that we meet our clarity today will meet what your expectations. Every transition that we've ever had starts with the conversation. So today we're going to have those conversations, and I hope that by the time we leave here, we know that it is possible to have a Lagos without noise.
That's true.
Thank you very much. I'd like to quickly just tell us a few things about e-mobility and to welcome us to this session and to talk more keynote address on e-mobility and of course to tell us about Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite the President of Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria, Engineer Dabo Additional, as he takes the stage. Thank you very much. Please let's keep appreciating him as he comes. That I said the noiseless Lagos does not mean it's not clapping. Please. Thank you very much.
I said I should walk quietly to the podium because we want to reduce noise. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today. So, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Executive Committee of the Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria, I'd like to welcome us and also to appreciate very fairly the convener of this 3 days event for being, for putting it together and for finding it a good time to put the e-mobility in the mix of all the power, both the renewable, sustainable, and all of those. My name is Engineer Dabo Additional, and I'm the President of the Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria. Distinguished guests, policymakers, industry leaders, investors, development partners, and colleagues, once again, good afternoon. It's a privilege to address you at the Powerelec Nigeria 2026, particularly during this e-mobility session, where power, infrastructure, transport converge. This is the right room for this conversation because electric mobility is not just about the vehicles, it is about systems. So when you talk about systems, you talk about energy systems, financing systems, data systems,
thank you,
and skills systems. Today, I would like to frame my conversation for discussion around 6 realities that is shaping electric mobility in Nigeria today. Those are the major 6 things I want to look at. And in looking at these, don't look at it with just one eye, look at it with both eyes. Why? Because you look at the challenges as well as the opportunities. This sector is full of opportunities, and these are the theoretical challenges and they are the practical truth that will determine whether e-mobility in Nigeria remains at pilot stage or that we scale with purpose in mind. I go to the first reality, which is our infrastructural readiness is uneven, but strategic deployment can wait. The first reality is this, that Nigeria is not infrastructure ready everywhere. That's the fact. But it does not need to be for e-mobility to thrive. E-mobility will not scale through random charging points. It will scale through intentional high utilization infrastructure, such as at depots, bus terminals, logistic hubs, campuses, and defined transport corridors. The opportunity lies in fleet-first charging model. Fleet-first charging model. It also lies in corridor-based deployment. Which corridor do you have the fleets running? It also lies with the standardized connectors and interoperability systems. The technical people around here know what I'm talking about. So we must stop asking this question: can Nigeria support EV everywhere? But instead, we can ask this next question: where can EV deliver the fastest, most reliable, impactful situation today? At MPAN, we consistently emphasize that infrastructure must follow use cases, not just curiosity. And when infrastructure is aligned with real demand, buses, logistics, ride-hailing services, they will scale and it becomes practical and not theoretical. The second reality I'd like to look at is energy constraints are real, but so are energy opportunities. The second reality is that power supply constraints are real, but they are not the reason for the delay in e-mobility. Electric vehicles do not require 24/7 power everywhere. Yeah, those who know are already nodding their heads. They require predictable, managed energy system. And so this opens up another opportunity here, which is solar hybrid charging hubs, battery storage and smart charging, time of use tariff and load management, as well as productive use of excess renewable generation. So we have a lot of redundant power systems, idle software that we can tap into. So e-mobility, if done right, can become a driver of smarter grid, not a body of weak ones. The next reality I'd like to talk about is data and visibility gaps are slowing down the confidence. A third reality is less discussed, but it's critical. You have often heard that it said data is the new oil. So we lack visibility. Why? Because there's no supportive data with which you can pitch. So we do yet have reliable data on EV usage pattern. We don't have data on clear cost of ownership benchmarks, as well as transparent performance data across vehicle types. What are the vehicle types on our roads? Where do they come from? What charger type do they have? And what use cases for agriculture, personal, or for passenger transport? Without data, investors hesitate, policymakers guess, and utilities overestimate the risk. So therefore, we need shared credible data sets on energy demand, vehicle performance, emission savings, and economics to move from belief to bankability. So to scale e-mobility, Nigeria must invest not only in physical assets, but also in digital platforms, monitoring system, and transparent reporting framework. The next reality we don't see here today, reality 4, is this. Financing is the biggest barrier and the biggest opportunity. Somebody would have asked, why are you sharing finance? You know, among our thought leaders in the farm, say, why not finance first? But it's here with us now. Let us be honest. Upfront cost is still the main barrier to adoption. Yes? But this is not a technological problem. It is a financing model problem. Therefore, what do we need? Nigeria needs leasing and pay per use model. We need battery as a service. We need fleet-based aggregation, as well as blended finance and risk-sharing instruments. Electric mobility should be financed as a productive asset. Productive asset, not a luxury purchase. While we understand that some people, for ego's sake, they want to say, yeah, I've got an EV parked in my garage. But as well, it should be productive assets. When fuel savings, maintenance reduction, and uptime are properly valued, and business case becomes very clear. The next reality I'd like to talk about is capacity and skills will determine scale. Capacity and skills will determine scale. Why is this? This fifth reality is purely human. Nigeria faces gaps in EV technicians and electricians, battery diagnosis and safety, charging infrastructure installation and maintenance, software data, and energy management skills. This is also an opportunity. Why? Because e-mobility can become a job-creating transition. And that's why the number of forums we call it green jobs. There are new set of jobs that are springing up. We just need to key into them. If training, certification and local capacity building are treated as a core infrastructure, not afterthoughts. So you build in skills into your plan from start, that you're going into a partnership with OEM. Skill is already built into it. Who is going to maintain it? Who is going to do the follow-up with the after-sales service? So it should not be an afterthought. Without skills, infrastructures will fail. Without capacity, confidence is eroded. So everyone sees capacity building as foundational through partnership with training institutions, utilities, OEMs, and development partners. Scaling mobility without skill is like building roads without drivers. And so the next reality, which is the sixth one, is parts and maintenance will determine public trust. The sixth reality is simple but decisive. Availability of parts and maintenance will determine adoption. Consumers and fleet operators will ask the following questions. Why should I have an EV? Why should I go into EV business? One, where do I service the vehicle? It's one of the questions. Another one, how long will it take to repair? Do you need to send somebody from China, Europe, come and fix it? Are spare parts locally available? Availability of spare parts. Then will be certified to work on this system? Those are the pertinent questions. Therefore, electric mobility will not scale on enthusiasm alone. It will scale on reliability. Local assembly standards, standardized components, technician trainings, and after-sales support must be prioritized. Without this, even the biggest and the best technology will still fall. So therefore, what this means, what does it mean to Nigeria? Taking together this is reality, let us look at this one thing. Electric mobility in Nigeria is not scaled through hand or isolated pilot. It will scale through coordination. And when we look at it, there has to be a coordination between power, transport, finance, policy, and skills. And when you look at this, we at Empire, this is the role we are playing, which I will later introduce to us. So when you have your car, you bought cars without skill, failure is bound to happen. Chargers with infrastructure low power results into failure. Power plus policy plus purpose, you have a resilient ecosystem. So at Empire, we align these three things together, ensuring that infrastructure, standard, and smart model together. So these are the strategic imperatives. Fleet-led adoption, grid-aligned planning, data policy and transparency, and local value. We are not debating relevance in this place, at this event. We are executing on scale. And so therefore, I've come to my first leg of what I'm here to do today. And so we do not need to copy another country's journey. It is key. We are designing a resilient, affordable, and distinctive Nigerian e-mobility future. Let us integrate power, policy, people, and purpose. Thank you. All right, I just take a few minutes to introduce to you. A number of us have asked, a number of us have been to our stand at 2K8 at the booth to ask, what is this empire? This morning, as I stood around the place, somebody was calling a friend, saying, oh, these Nigerians are very creative. Do you know that they have set up an e-mobility association already? Now, what is EMPAN? EMPAN is the E-Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria. And so I'll just take us on a quick ride on how it is, and so we can go on with the rest of the program. So EMPAN was established in October of 2024, so we are less than 1.5 years. And so why is this? We look at the stakeholders who participate or the active players in the ecosystem, such as the manufacturers or assemblers of all kinds of EV, from the 2-wheelers to the 3-wheelers to the 4-wheelers, small size, medium size, and large buses. And we also have those who are participants in the energy sector, either energy as a service by way of battery swap solution with cabinets or charging stations. And we also have application developers in software side, mapping out infrastructure across the country. We have ride-hailing services. We have research and development as well as consultants in this ecosystem. So anything that has to do with e-mobility, they are members of this. And we have well over 40 corporate members. EMPAL is first for corporate. So it's for corporate organizations registered and doing business around the e-mobility ecosystem. So our purpose is to serve as a unified voice and can have a voice. You know, people say, put your money where your mouth is. So that's why we come together to achieve this. And our vision is to champion the adoption of electric mobility in Nigeria by fostering collaboration, advancing partnership, and all of that. And the vision is to position Nigeria where it should be, and that is as a leader in the electric mobility system. How do we do that? Through affordable, sustainable transport solutions. So it is a solution, it's a package that we're working with. We have a number of objectives that drive what we do. First among many is policy advancement or policy advocacy. So we advocate for policy. We work as a non-for-profit, but we work with private sector, we work with the government sector, and we have a number of government agencies that we currently work with to get things done. 2 weeks ago, we were having some talks with the Energy Commission of Nigeria. We have also talks ongoing with Rural Electrification Agency, Ministry of Finance, Nigerian Customs Service, NAGDC, which is the Nigeria Automotive Design and Development Council, Standard Organization of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, we are at a point where we are developing what we call e-mobility standards for Nigeria. And yours truly is the national vice chairperson for that committee on the National Technical Committee on e-mobility for Nigeria. So you can know that things, we want to set the pace right in this sector. So we collaborate to work with policy. I know some of us must have read about the EV bill of 2025 that has passed second reading. We're also working with those at the National Assembly and other stakeholders to deliver on that. The next one is public awareness. Our amiable moderator, coordinator, has taken us through some journey. So part of what we do, and as time permits us, we are going to go through a few of those things that we think we should do. So we are doing public awareness, as well as building capacity. Shortly before I came up, there was a short video about roadside mechanic training that was held in Lagos in September. Was sponsored by Siemens Foundation of Germany. And so we were the ones that helped deliver on that training. So we are looking for partnership, collaboration to do more of those in the space. Industry collaboration between us, members, and industry, OEM manufacturers, and data integration. Data is key. So people have some data sitting somewhere. We need to work on how to aggregate the data, as well as use those data to make informed decisions. We're also working with consult service to get some data that can help the sector. And funding and support. So we help members to look for concessionary loans where they can do business and not be hot, as well as looking for funds to also run the association. So we are open to deliver on our objectives as we provide these funds available. These are some of our key plans for the 2026. Stakeholders engagement, we are having one right now. Capacity building programs, I mentioned that. Policy advocacy efforts, infrastructure development, and networking events. And on this note, I want to thank you for listening. So you can be in touch, you can contact us. Our stand is just right behind you here in this direction, 2K8. And you can also scan this contact to reach out to us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, President, the Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria, Engineer Dabo Additional. One of the things we have highlighted was for the case of adoption. So I'd just like us to pay attention to the multimedia screen. Sometime last year in October, we took roadside mechanics and we, in conjunction with Siemens, we trained them on repairs, on where to take your vehicle, and so we're already starting the process. Media, please.
Okay, we'll be able to get out. I'm about to share live stream. Don't. Okay. Lambo ti kúrò ìgbà tí wọ́n lọ tún machine tí yẹn ṣe gbà ẹ̀ láti sọ àwọn ìdúró ká ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ àti ṣe other trains they will find difficult to find someone to replace it, especially the way it takes the trains.
As EMPA, we believe that true progress is made when we build capacity at the grassroots. Training is free to open doors of opportunity, to democratize knowledge, and to create a network of field technicians who will sustain the future of transport in our country.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So you see that the process is ongoing to ensure that adoption is easier for Nigerians. This next session we're about to take on will explore practical pathways for scaling electric mobility in Nigeria, from infrastructure and financing to local manufacturing regulation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, innovators, manufacturers, e-mobility enthusiasts like myself, I'd like to quickly introduce the panel that will be having this discussion on driving Nigeria forward, scaling up e-mobility through infrastructure, standards, and smarter models. My first panelist will be Chinedu Azudo, who is the co-founder, beg your pardon. My first panelist will be Obiora Okafor, who is a result-driven electric mobility leader and operations executive with 10 years of experience across sustainable transportation, fintech, technology-enabled market expansion. As COO of EV Automobiles Nigeria Limited, he leads EV sales, fleet electrification, financing, charging infrastructure, and after-sales excellence. Distinguished guests, please welcome Obiora Okafor as he takes the stage. Please keep clapping. Let's encourage him. Thank you very much. Our next panelist is a veteran of the energy sector, Mr. Zulu B.F. Ibrahim, who combines 20 years of policy leadership with a decade in publishing. His distinguished career includes serving as the Director of Energy Management and the then Renewable Energy at Energy Commission of Nigeria. Please let's appreciate him. He's already on stage. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for agreeing to share your knowledge with us today. Our next panelist is Omokayode Adejo, who is the founder of Greenflex Nigeria Limited, a clean mobility and energy solutions company, advancing electric vehicles, charging infrastructure, renewable energy. Please let's appreciate him. He's an advocate of EV adoption and skill development. Because we always have women in every sector. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sarah Owewe. Sarah is a purpose-driven finance and development professional, driving Nigeria's green economy through climate-aligned investments. At Sterling Bank, she has mobilized over $35 million in international climate finance and led landmark initiatives in renewable energy. Sarah is especially interested in women-led youth enterprises. Thank you very much. And of course, to drive this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Damilola Odunlade Akeju. Damilola is a technology founder and mobility innovator with over 15 years of experience building digital platforms that integrate software, finance, operations to solve transportation and employment challenges. As of today, Damilola sits as the founder and CEO of Drive Me Mobility. Distinguished guests, these are your panelists, and I know they will do justice to this conversation. Damilola, you can take it away. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. We can see very pleasant faces in the room, and we're super excited.